I'm recording now.
Okay, well, good. You should have been recording before, but
Boys.
You weren't prepared.
Girls, you're both pretty.
You're.
Aw, she thinks we're pretty.
Dude, she thinks I'm prettier though.
She did not say that.
She totally said I was prettier.
Ray, who's prettier?
Tgjan.
Oh,
Yes.
But you have nicer hair.
You want me to do the intro?
Do the intro, Tgjan.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the TFT podcast. I'm Tgjan Lee, your host for the night. It's weird because you announce yourself as the host, but you don't really drive the conversation. That's kind of weird. But anyway, we have Mr. Senor Fusion.
What's up?
We have Mr. Senor Ray.
Hello.
We have Mrs. Senor Chaos Man.
Hello.
And the biggest Game of Thrones fan in the world, Dark One Drake.
I am kind of here, but I'm not the Game of Thrones fan you say I am. So I don't know who you're talking about.
He's in denial.
I was talking about Light One Dre.
Oh, yeah. He's not here right now.
What did you do to him?
I locked him in my basement.
He used to be. There used to be an account called Light One Dre.
I
and
know.
Then it disappeared.
I know.
I looked him up yesterday. I tried to tag him.
Murdered it. I took him out behind the chemical shed and put a bullet between his pretty eyes.
Why do you have a chemical shed?
Don't ask questions. Just accept the fact that I have a chemical shed, and that's the last anyone ever saw of Light One
Does
Dre.
Ken know of this chemical shed?
Well, yeah, this is where he does all of his science experiments.
Ah.
What kind of science experiments?
The secret kind.
I hate those. Those are the worst kind of secrets.
Oh, those are the best kind. It's where all
Worst
fun
kind of
stuff
secrets,
happens.
alright.
So, Tgjan Lee, Mr. Fusion, you've got some splaining to do.
What do I need to talk about? What
Why
did I do?
have you been a bad person?
This whole debacle on Twitter where you're like, I was blocked by a celebrity, but I'm not going to tell you. Tee-hee-hee-hee. So,
Okay,
Wow.
damn it.
to be fair,
Celebrities hate
I initially was I didn't realize until when was it? Sunday that I was blocked.
Sunday.
And then just since then I forgot.
You forgot who blocked you?
No, I forgot to bring it up. But
Okay.
Okay.
bring it up now.
So anyway, I was watching on YouTube on Sunday an evening with Kevin Smith, and I'm sure most of you know who he is, right?
Never heard of
Yeah,
him.
he
Okay.
did Tusk.
Well, he was
course.
talking about how this Twitter conversation he had, and I said to myself, "Wait, I don't remember seeing that conversation. Well, I know I'm following him because I've been following him for years."
Mm-hmm.
So I open up another web page browser and I load up and I go to Twitter and I type in Kevin Smith and boom, it pops up. This Twitter user has blocked you. And I was like, oh shit. So I've been blocked by Kevin fucking Smith.
Were you hacked
Oh,
or something?
what did you do
No.
to him?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
Did
But
he
you know,
ask you to be in Tusk and you decided you didn't want the role and so he got pissy with you?
that is a possibility, though I don't
It was
recall.
between you and Bruce Willis, I heard.
Yeah. So no, what I think happened was at some point someone was probably talking shit to him in a Twitter conversation, and I may have either retweeted or replied to that, and he may have taken it as I was piling on. I'm just assuming, just because I don't directly like troll anyone. I just don't give a damn on Twitter.
Maybe he listened to our podcast and he didn't like us.
It's possible because he has the Schmodcast and he takes that very serious. And
doesn't like any competition.
maybe he felt threatened. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably what it was, yeah.
I mean, I would feel threatened too by us.
And we are posed to take over the world.
That is the rumor.
I would be
2015
scared-
is our big breakout year.
This is when we get pimples. We break out this year.
So yes, I
go
have
through
been
puberty all over again.
blocked by Kevin Smith, who, by the way, Lo Zelda has no idea who that is.
She's better off. I was better off not knowing who he was. I don't know
By
why
Kevin
everybody
Smith.
likes his work. I don't like any of it.
You didn't like Dogma, really?
No.
Get out. Get out
I
right
didn't
now.
Well,
Goodbye.
that's it for
Raised
Dark One
through-
Dre
I
tonight.
guess
Ray
that's
has put down the hammer.
I'm
You're
dead to
dead.
Ray. I'm
Now
sorry.
gone.
I'm
So-
sorry, Ray. I've got to peace out. Bye.
Ray, why do you
I could
like
let
Kevin
the whole
Smith so much?
Silent Bob if you didn't like that. But Dogma?
Why do you like it so much?
Come on. Because it's fucking awesome.
Mhm.
Oh, David hasn't seen it, though, has he?
Well, you just spoiled it for him. It's fucking awesome.
Yes, yeah, it's fucking awesome. I've ruined it.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Jeez, Ray.
Poop monster.
So
Speaking
yes,
of spoiler alerts,
you do not make it in social media until you've been banned by somebody with more than 2 million followers.
Yeah.
So I have accomplished that in my life.
dude, I think that's how you get an authentic
So
account,
could he
right?
then
Certified?
devaluate you if he then unblocked you?
But that should make me verified, though, right? The fact that
I agree.
that somebody
The
that
little
has
blue
over 2
sticker.
million followers had to take the time to block me.
Sonny, stop that.
He
Drop
pressed the unblock button
Drop it.
when he saw not Mr.
No.
Fusion.
Yeah, exactly.
Hold on, I've got to get my hair tie from the dog. He's chewing.
Uh-oh.
I thought your dog had your hair in his mouth.
I thought that was just a cat thing. Stealing hair ties.
Well,
Well, cats are bitches and dogs are jerks. My dog steals my girlfriend's underwear.
What?
He just
That seems like another thing.
Wait,
he just
Um,
he literally
Wait, you said girlfriend. I thought you were engaged now.
well, fiance. It's interchangeable.
Yeah, it's hard to get to. I still have trouble saying husband.
I have a
I wanna
hard
say
time just saying the
fiancé.
word girlfriend sometimes, you know? It's just because I always call her by her name to people, and they're like, who the hell is that? I'm like, don't worry about it.
yeah.
It's like
She's just a stranger.
she's the stranger
live with.
that sometimes appears on the internet under the
Sometimes.
under the name
She hasn't
Ginger.
logged onto RT for the longest time.
Yeah, but she did the whole. She was a character in the TFT Smash, so she was.
She was.
here in
Great
spirit.
segue.
Yeah.
Speaking of, did anybody watch the episode today? It was the final episode.
I did.
No, I didn't want to watch the end
Why not?
because it'll be the end, and I'm like, I don't. This is not a day that I want to watch the end of something.
He has a hard
Is
time
it-
with closure.
Is it the end, though?
Oh,
Is
don't be a
It's-
tease.
From the world as we
don't
know it.
don't you dare be a tease.
Is it? Is it
He
really?
sta-
I
if
keep
you
saying
read
it's-
the journal, he stated that it's going to return in a slightly different format or continue.
Well, the whole scheme is to just do just single fight episodes, and I'll release 3 or 4 a week, just single fights, and sometimes they can be 1-on-1 or tag teams or 4-on-4 or whatever. So
Oh,
just
this
kind
way.
of varying it up a little bit.
You can
So-
create a me called Batman, and you can create a me called Superman, and you could see who
If-
will win the battle.
If they become members of the TFT, then totally.
You mean
Can
they're
we get
not
this out the
already
way?
members?
Superman beats Batman every time.
Every
this,
time.
This idea that
Every
Batman always wins is bullshit. I'm sorry. From comic book people, Batman will not win against someone with superhuman powers. I'm
I
sorry.
don't know. If,
I
if
don't
Batman
understand
had
how
time
people
to
think
prepare,
Batman
he
could
could
win.
get his hands on some of that blown up
He
planet.
doesn't have time to prepare. Superman just flies in, flicks him into the sun. It's over.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with the kryptonite and this whole thing with Batman is the greatest strategist and knows everyone's weakness and therefore can destroy everybody. I get that idea, but here's the thing. Superman flies faster than a speeding bullet, correct? He will come at him at several hundred miles an hour, not giving the kryptonite time to take effect,
Yeah,
and therefore
people don't
also
seem to
crush Batman's lungs when he's
Well,
pulling
that's
him.
it.
People don't seem to
that's
understand
also
that Superman
preemptively
takes time
him
to get hurt
attacking.
by the kryptonite.
Like, what if he didn't know where he was, or if Batman was actually trying to get him and Superman didn't know that Batman was fighting? It's all
'Cause-
circumstantial.
Superman has that X-ray vision thing, so Batman would not be able to hide from
Well,
it.
also his skin
He
is
can
made
hide
of
in
steel.
lead.
So the thing is that every single iteration of kryptonite with Batman, it doesn't instantly kill him. It has a radiation effect on him. It slowly poisons him and slowly takes away his powers. Well, even a 50% Superman could still crush the shit out of Batman in half a second. So there's no this idea that Batman has a whole room full of kryptonite, and well, you know what? Then Superman's going to stop and be like,
So did Lex Luthor.
it's
And
just-
Lex Luthor is smarter than Batman.
Exactly. Lex Luthor is smarter than Batman.
Well, at least Lex Luthor keeps telling Batman he's smarter than him.
I have a question.
Shoot.
If Superman and Lois Lane had a child together, I mean, one, would they be
They did.
would they
Go on.
be genetically compatible? And two, would the child
Yes.
have freakish natures like his father?
Yes.
Wait, he had a kid
If-
with Lois Lane? When did this happen?
No, that's
Earth 2.
Okay, Earth 2, yes.
Yeah. Kara Zor-El. No, wait, no, not Kara. Different Kara.
So
Power
this
Girl.
makes me wonder now.
Power
if they are-
Girl is Kara Zor-El. That's his cousin.
Okay.
Power Girl.
But they still
Power
had a
Girl
kid.
is Supergirl, but from a different Earth.
That's correct, actually. You're right.
Yes.
I don't understand how Superman and Lois Lane could be genetically identical if they're evolved on 2 different planets. This is weird.
It is weird.
Hey, don't question it. Superman has a weird penis, but it works.
They call him the Man of Steel for a reason.
Oh,
I mean, that goes back to a Kevin Smith debate. From
Yes,
Mallrats,
there was
how
this idea
Wonder
of a
Woman is the
kryptonite.
only one who can really has the uterus strong enough for Superman's baby. Because he's so super strong, you'd have to think his ejaculate would come out of him so fast.
Oh,
like a
gosh,
speeding bullet,
no.
if you will. And that Wonder Woman's uterus is the only one that can take the hit.
you know what? That would be an amazing comic book for Superman, where he goes through puberty, has sex for the first time, and then kills the first person he sleeps with.
That would be a terrible book, but I'm sure you can find that on DeviantArt.
And actually, that was kind of the main point of the movie Hitchcock. You know, the scene with the girl and the giving him the blowjob. Well, that was actually supposed to be a bit more raunchy and just they were supposed to go into depth of that whole scene. But at that point, but by the point that it got down on
Then they
film,
got a PG-13 rating.
yeah, they were pushing for a PG-13 rating. By the way, you know who wrote the original script, the test script for that?
Who?
Don't say Kevin Smith.
Vince Gilligan,
And who's that?
the director
the hell
of
is
Breaking
that?
Bad. Director of Breaking Bad.
Oh, okay.
The original script was "Tonight He Comes." Which is, it wasn't the nasty come, but still, yes, it was called "Tonight He Comes." And by the time it made it to a major studio, they wanted to turn it into an all-out superhero movie. But it was supposed to be this dark movie about a guy with superpowers, and it was supposed to get really depressing. But by the time it got into pre-production, they really wanted to make it a PG-13 movie and kind of a family movie type thing. So yeah,
Yeah, it was a terrible movie in the end.
I didn't like it either.
It was too too bland, too drab, too depressing.
It started out good, and then it started okay, the first half hour. Okay, he's just this guy who has superpowers and doesn't give a shit. But then he tried to make him into a superhero, and you're like, okay, now it's a cliched movie. It was funnier when he wasn't.
And then you find out, okay, he and the
there's a
woman
girl.
are immortal fucking lovers from thousands of years ago, and
Oh my god, yeah,
they're
it was
all
so
dead
stupid.
except for those two. Just okay, really?
Wait.
This is
Are we talking about Hancock now?
yes.
Okay.
Same movie.
Just
What did
making
you think
sure.
we were talking about? Hitch?
Oh,
Same
yeah.
movie.
Did I say Hitch? I meant Hancock.
Yeah, you said Hitchcock.
Hitchcock. I'm sorry. Whatever. Hitchcock. Same thing. Boring movie.
I'm like,
Same
the words
freaking
that you're
movie,
saying
though.
seemed really familiar to me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this movie, but that's not
I
what it's called.
apologize. I meant Hancock for the superhero movie. I know Hitch is the
Oh,
really bad dating movie.
yeah, Hitch was stupid. I actually liked Hancock. I thought it was funny.
Little known fact: Handcock is a different kind of porno.
That isn't that just masturbation? Hand on cock.
There has to be a movie called Handcock.
Ooh, I hope so.
Somebody look that up.
Google it.
Someone please.
I can't Google it because whenever I type, it screws up my audio. So somebody
Yeah,
else
I've got that same problem right now. My keyboard is right underneath the microphone right now.
Chaos, do it.
Nah.
He's too busy Minecrafting. Screw
Are you Minecrafting right now?
Oh.
Are
Okay,
you
so
in
anyway, back to
TFTopia?
all of this. Batman will not kill Superman 9 times out of 10 like people think. It's
Yeah, no, they're
Superman.
just fools.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like those people that try to argue Wolverine is the best as well. Wolverine sucks.
Wolverine is an interesting character, and
He's just he's easily defeated. Everybody's like, oh, you can't kill Wolverine. I'm like, well, if the Green Lantern just comes in, puts him in a bubble, and throws him into the sun, he's done. I'm sorry, Green Lantern could beat Wolverine.
yeah, that's true.
Argument destroyed.
Did he put Superman in a bubble?
But see, here's the
think-
thing: is that Superman will destroy the Green Lantern because Superboy Prime, in the Infinite Crisis series,
After he punched through space and time.
yeah, he just fucked every Lantern. He killed 10 Green Lanterns
Yeah, he fucked everything
in
up.
10 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
Superboy
He was a
Prime was just
dick.
he was a major dick.
I liked his character because it was the biggest fuck you to fans that were complete assholes. It's just this is what you people would look like if you had superpowers, you super fans, and this is what happens.
Speaking of TFT talks,
What about it?
aren't we going to be recording a comics pretty soon?
Yeah.
I think we should record a comic book podcast real soon.
Yeah,
I agree.
I like the way you say it, as if it was your idea just now and not a suggestion.
I know.
Well, depending on who edits the podcast, make me sound better. Make it sound
So
like I said.
I'm just gonna have you alone, and everyone will talk for like 30 seconds after that.
It's like,
It's like nobody thinks it's a good idea.
yeah, if we do a TFT Talks comic books, it would be really neat. My cousin, who's currently living with me, he absolutely adores comic books and all things that are comic related, and like I might be able to get him in on this conversation because I would be useless in a comics conversation, but I think he would love it. So I could do like I did with Ken and kind of sit here on the couch and be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds really interesting. Go on."
I still have to listen to that one.
It's good.
The science one.
It's good. You should listen.
It
to
started out good. I listened probably the first like 25 minutes.
You might learn a thing or two about science.
I sure will.
I hope so.
Do you
Okay,
have any questions from the audience?
No. I got to do this. So, it was announced yesterday the new cast, an all-female cast for this reboot of Ghostbusters.
Oh,
Wait.
jeez.
That wasn't. I read about this like months ago. How could they just officially announce it when I read about it months
the
ago?
Cast.
They officially announced the cast.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Even though the cast hasn't signed on,
Wait,
the
so
director
how can it be
has-
official if they've not signed on?
He tweeted it yesterday.
It's as official as the director would like it to be.
Paul Feig, he directed Bridesmaids. He tweeted out who the cast will be in Bridesmaids fashion. It's Kristen Wiig, Melissa McCarthy,
Love her.
Kate McKinnon, and
Love her.
Leslie Jones, both from SNL.
Love her.
Here's my thing. I don't have a problem with Kristen Wiig. I really don't even have a problem with the other two SNL girls, even though I'm not very familiar with them. I felt that they were.
McKinnon is hysterical.
I felt that they were better fits for the big screen, but I'm gonna say I'm not a fan of Melissa McCarthy. I'm tired of the Chris Farley fat guy jokes. They've run their course for me. I'm the loud, physical, fat person. I'm not trying to slam her weight, but I'm just saying that's the kind of style of comedy she does. And
Very physical.
Very
yeah,
physical,
She uses
yeah.
her body, and I mean,
Yeah.
it's not stale for me yet because I still like her a lot. I think she's very funny.
I've
Yeah.
only seen her in Mean Girls, so I'm kind of the same way.
She
I
wasn't in
would
Mean
like to
Girls.
see more of her, but I haven't watched any of her other work.
Melissa McCarthy wasn't in Mean Girls.
No, she was
Not
in,
Mean Girls,
This is
Bridesmaids.
40.
Bridesmaids. Okay.
Yeah,
Did
they're
you
like
see
the
This Is
same
40?
thing.
I'm gonna
Like
say she was-
Bridesmaids is Mean Girls, but with adults instead of
She
teenagers.
was good in Bridesmaids. She was. There was another movie I'm trying to think of that she was pretty decent in, but like it's the same character over and over now, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna be the same character in Ghostbusters. They could have gone a different route. That's just it's my opinion. I think it's not gonna. I'm okay. Somebody responded to my tweet about that, and they said, "Okay, of course you would have to make a critical comment about the all-female cast." I don't care if it's an all-female cast. I'm okay with that. It doesn't bother me because I believe that they can write a good script. But I just feel like if she's going to be doing the same character that she's done in the last 4 or 5 movies, I don't really want to watch it. I'm sorry, but with a fucking
We
proton
all know
pack
you're
on her
going to
back,
go see it.
what's that?
We all know you're going to go see
I'm
it.
going to go see it because it's Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
That's why. And I loved Harold Ramis.
I'm actually
Rest
really
in
looking
peace.
forward to seeing what they can do with this because I am not a fan of the original Ghostbusters 1 or 2.
What?
I have never met a person
Yeah.
who's not a fan of those
I
movies.
I
No,
don't
I
like
don't
them.
like
They're okay with it,
Ghostbusters.
but you didn't like it.
I liked
don't
the
like
first
it.
one. I
Which
loved
is
it.
well, the second one was great too. Don't worry about it.
No. Either.
But yeah, that just feels so weird to me. It's like somebody says they don't like it, which is fine. You can not like it.
I know.
but
I
just
had to
like-
double check and make sure that my adult self didn't like it because as a kid, I remember I didn't enjoy it. So I watched it again as an adult, and it was the same thing. I'm like, it's just okay.
It's like I love it because it's one of those movies where every single time you watch it, you find something new. Just like Ferris Bueller, like you still find something
I absolutely
hysterically
hate
new.
Ferris Bueller. That's
I
wasn't a
fucking
fan
love
of
that movie.
terrible
I wasn't
movie.
a fan of that movie. Yeah.
You're crazy.
This
Y'all
explains
crazy.
so much about you, Tgjan. So much.
But
Ferris
seriously,
Bueller.
I'm,
Goddamn
I,
Ferris
I,
Bueller.
I would be okay with the overall cast, but having her in there, I think it's just going to be the same shtick. But with, like I said, with the proton pack on, her like running from from ghosts and falling over tables and chairs and stuff. I'm like, I've seen this, but without the proton pack.
Maybe she'll be the badass of the bunch.
It's possible that she's the Spangler of the group. You know, it's possible.
I could see her being the badass of the group, like a similar character how she was in Bridesmaids, where she's just this badass character.
Yeah.
So that would be funny. Like,
And that's probably why I liked her in Bridesmaids, because she deviated from the majority of her films. You know.
Yeah, because I
that was
agree
kind of
with
her
you
breakout
there.
film.
Yeah, having her play someone that's more of a badass is definitely a lot more fun to watch and makes her a more interesting character.
But
than
it's
her regular
funny
shtick.
because of the two TV shows she's been on, Mike and Molly and Gilmore Girls, she plays nothing like the characters she plays in movies. She plays completely different kinds of characters, and she does great jobs with her. She's a good actress, I think.
Yeah,
so
but what
I think
mean,
she's
but,
got
but, but you have to admit the majority
really
of her
wide
motion
range.
picture casting roles have been that kind of that niche. I mean, Bridesmaids aside, the majority of the recent movies have been kind of the same thing, though. Or do you?
I liked her in This Is 40, where she played this mom character, this like really bitchy mom character. She was only in the movie for like 2 minutes, but she was hysterical in it.
There was.
I mean, This Is 40 was a terrible movie, but
Yeah.
She was the best.
So anyway, we have a reboot coming once again, another reboot.
I just hope it's
but
good.
it's
It's
the
an actual
Ghostbusters.
good reboot and not just. Yeah, let's try a female one this time.
But you know, this is one that could, of all the reboots from the 80s and 90s properties, this is probably one that could benefit from a reboot just because.
I agree completely. Yes,
just because of technology.
Oh, yeah.
That we're in a different culture than 30 years ago, where people are more into aliens and ghosts, the supernatural. Like, so I think this one could be a little more. I think this one could be a good one if it's a witty script. I'm not gonna. I can get over her being in the movie. I'm not going to say she's going to ruin the movie, but then again, you know, one of the other girls can totally fuck up this movie. You know, it could be just she may be perfect and everyone else is awful. Someone had mentioned early on that Emma Stone was in the running. I kind of liked the idea of having Emma Stone in there. I think she's very
she would
underrated.
be an interesting addition. I don't know if she would work well as a Ghostbuster though.
Well, you know, she's kind of underrated on the comedic side. I thought she was really good in that movie Easy A. Did you ever watch that?
No, I didn't watch that. No.
Yeah, that
Should
was
give
a
it-
long time ago, comparatively.
No, it was like 3 years ago.
For me, it's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's like 4 years.
That's
Well,
true.
yeah, because you're just a baby.
Yeah,
He was 12 when that movie came out.
That's true. Very true. Yeah, Dark, you should give it a watch. It's a pretty good movie. Very
I wonder
funny.
if it's on Netflix.
It was for
It's
a while,
not.
and they took it off.
Oh shit! So I'm gonna have to figure out some way to watch this then.
It's one of those that It's one of those that.
It's
pops
on
off and
FX like every other day.
Yeah.
So
See, that was I wanted to. I actually wanted to see that movie when it came out, and I remember wanting to go see it. But then I think it was my sister. She went and saw it with someone else, and I'm like, oh well, I have no one to go see
bitch.
the movie with. So yeah, well, you know, work schedules and all that. It just didn't work out.
Yeah, it's not on
I
Netflix.
apologize. I didn't mean that.
Shit happens. Tell you what movie I need to see and have been dying to see and have not been able to get my ass to the theater to go see is Into the Woods. Has anybody seen the musical play?
No.
Oh my god, that's what the movie is actually based off of. It's a spin on all the classical, not all of them, but a handful of the Brothers Grimm fairy tales. But done, at least the version that I've seen was an actual stage play. They had an intermission in the middle and everything, but it was on DVD. A friend of mine showed it to me, and I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I grew up loving all the different fairy tales, and have that adapted into an actual feature film really got me excited. But I've not been able to get to the theater to see it yet. It's kind of gotten mixed reviews by the critics, so I'm a little bit scared to see it for myself. But I need to see it. I've got to cross it off my list.
Mm-hmm. There's a shit ton of movies I haven't. Like, I never saw The Hobbit 3. I never saw the new Hunger Games.
I didn't see any of the Hobbit movies.
Aw.
Go check them out. They're good. I like the first one a lot. The second one was okay. Third one I hear is okay.
Yeah, at least the first.
better than the
what you're
second.
saying is at least the first one is worth giving it a try.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
I intend on watching them eventually. I'll probably like get all 3 of them and do an all-day marathon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I just kind of like by the time the 3rd Lord of the Rings movie came out, I'm like, okay, I had fun in Middle Earth while it lasted, and I don't really intend on coming back because it's not that. Just I don't know, something about it it didn't capture me. It had all the elements, all the right elements of
you
a
read the
movie
book?
that would have brought me in, but the movies themselves, they didn't capture me.
Did you ever read the book, The Hobbit?
No.
That's a great book. That's one of my favorite books of all time.
That's what everybody says, but since you like it, I have a feeling I probably won't like it.
Trust me, Fusion. Trust me, Dark. You'll love it.
So we've proven that Tgjan is actually crazy.
Yes. I mean, have you seen my fucking name? I can't even pronounce it correctly.
I know. Oh, what about Jupiter Rising? I think that's actually
That
coming
looks
out
awesome.
this year. Or
That's
Ascending.
probably gonna be terrible,
Jupiter
but it looks
Ascending.
awesome.
I know. That's what I'm afraid of. It's been delayed so many times. I'm like, oh, this movie has had so much trouble. It's going to be shit. But god
so
damn it,
gonna
it looks
suck.
pretty. And it's got what's her name, the brunette chick from that one movie. I can't think of the name.
The movie with the thing.
She's from that other TV show too.
The 70s Show.
Yeah, that one.
And she's from Forgetting
Forgetting
Sarah
Sarah
Marshall.
Yes.
She's from Fantastic Mr. Oz or whatever that
Mr.
fucking...
Fox.
No, let's not talk about.
Where is my brain? My brain is just farting.
You're talking
all over
about-
me
Mila
tonight.
Kunis?
Yes, that
Mila
is.
Kunis.
Mila Kunis.
She's
Yes.
fantastic.
Like I really, really like. I don't know why, but I really like her as an actress. No idea why.
I like her face.
She has a pretty
got-
face, and I think
got a nice face.
maybe it's her eyes and her lips. She has good eyes
She's
and
got
good
like
lips.
these
She had
giant
different color eyes, too.
pool ball eyes, you know?
Yeah, it's like so. Whenever she's talking at the camera, you're like, I'm staring intently. I'm like,
I always
watching.
feel like if somebody just slightly taps the back of her head, those are...
they're just gonna pop out. Boop.
And it's just like, and she's gonna be fine with it because it happens all the time. Because obviously, you know, she's hit her head once or twice. So
Yeah,
she's
she
like,
should
"Oh,
look-
it's fine, it's
gosh.
fine." Then she just puts them in, and they're fine.
Eye will be dangling there by the optic nerve, and she'll be like, "No, calm down. It's fine. This happens all the time. Just give me
They're
a glass
probably
of
like
water.
mechanical or
pop this
something
back
at this
in.
point,
Gotta rinse
like
it off.
robot eyes. Or you remember at the end of Star Fox 64 where you get attacked by Andross's eyeballs?
Yep.
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah, just something like that. Like her brain
Oh.
pops out and her eyeballs come out, and they just start shooting those stupid little red lasers, and they get attacked by those attached to the head by the lightning bolts.
But according to the Nintendo people, whomever they are, they're going to be making a new official Star Fox game.
Is
for
it
the
going to
Wii
be
U.
a new
Yes!
or a remake of like the first one? Okay.
No, it's a new one.
I know they've already done one,
the
but
remake.
I
They're
think
making
they're
a new
another
one. They're not going to remake the remake within a year of itself.
I
Okay.
wouldn't be surprised.
I had a thought the other day.
Oh, did it hurt?
They should really make a Star Fox 64, like a Star Fox like anime or cartoon. Like I can't believe they haven't done that yet. They've made a cartoon of every other fucking game. Like and a Metroid cartoon as well. That would be really cool.
But
I
well,
would be
would a
interested in
Metroid
Metroid, but I would
cartoon
not be interested.
involve her having to speak a lot? Because that's definitely a character that,
Yeah, why not?
at least in most of the games, was not very chatty.
Well, I mean, Link
Well,
chatted up in his game. Super Mario chatted up in his show. So you know.
That's another one I'm really looking forward to. They're making a new Legend of Zelda game, but they're breaking from the traditional Legend of Zelda formula after the success of the last game that they did on one of the handheld systems, which I don't remember what it's called and I never played because I don't play
A
handhelds.
Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, that one. So they're doing it,
Yeah.
setting it up a little bit more in the structure of that. So it's actually going to be a genuinely new Legend of Zelda experience. And
It's supposed to be an open world.
yes,
That'll be so
and it actually
amazing.
looks really damn pretty.
Well, wait. What are you saying about A Link Between Worlds being completely unique? It was basically a sequel of an old game.
I don't know. I'd never played it. I can't
Well,
say
that-
anything
he's-
about
he's
it.
just
other than
saying-
the
Did
fact
you ever
that-
play A Link to the Past on Super Nintendo?
No, I didn't play.
Okay.
I didn't start
It's
playing
based
the
off
Legend
that.
of Zelda games until the Nintendo 64 with Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask.
Both
Link
great
to the
games.
Past is great.
It's probably one of the first games I played as a kid that was really hard, and it took me months to beat.
Well, that was
I-
a game that took a lot of time. Period. It wasn't just
It
that.
really did.
I mean, that game went on and on and on.
I mean,
Ocarina
now
of
I
Time
can
or
beat it in,
Majora's
like, a
Mask?
day.
No, A Link to the Past.
Oh, Link to the Past. Oh, yeah. Never played
Come
it.
on,
Sorry.
keep up.
When you
No.
would spend like 6 hours on the first part of it, and then it would open up the Dark World, and that was another like 10 hours.
And then you got 7 more fucking dungeons. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, I beat the game. Fuck no, I
and then
didn't.
you would have to switch between light and dark constantly. It's like, whoa, shit. It was it was a mix of strategy and just a flat out typical Zelda game.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean, that was the third Zelda game, or was that the fifth?
I
think it was the third.
fifth. No, I think it was the fourth because there was a Game Boy game between. Because it was Link,
Link's
The Adventures-
Awakening
Legend
was
of Zelda,
after.
Legend of Zelda, Link's Adventure was 2, and then
Yeah.
there was a Game Boy game, and then I think after that Game Boy game is when A Link to the Past
No.
came out.
No, I think Link's Awakening came after Link to the Past because it was a sequel.
You're right.
I remember that.
You're
So
right.
Link to the Past is 3, Link's Awakening is 4.
You're right.
Yep. And then Ocarina of Time was 5, actually. I think. Or was it? Because and then there were 2 more Game Boy
It'd be
games.
hilarious
Oracle
if Zelda
Season
was
and Oracle
actually in the
Ages.
chat and then just like twitching
then-
everywhere.
She would probably be so pissed at us
She
right
would
now for
set you
getting
right, because...
She'd be like, "What about those games where Zelda was the main character that I hate?" She would bring those up again.
Wait, there's games where Zelda is the main
CDI.
character?
Yeah, but Zelda, it's talked about it like 8 times by now.
We don't bring up CDI.
Yeah.
You're right. It's The Legend of Zelda, The Adventure of Link, A Link to the Past, and then Link's Awakening was after that. So it was A Link to the Past was the third game. So Link, yeah.
Well, you know what the new game's going to have that none of those other games have?
The sword,
No.
and Ocarina.
Really,
Oh,
really
dear.
pretty 1080p graphics that look like it could be like could have come right off of a painting or something. Like, this game looks fantastic.
You mean like Wind Waker
Well,
HD remake?
that's not
No, it
it's not
looks
the
better
same
than that.
style because it's specifically supposed to be cartoony.
Because that was 1080p.
Yeah, and this one kind of marries the two styles. It does have a slightly cel-shaded look to it, but it has more realistic looking character models versus the Wind Waker.
Well,
I'm
you
always
can't compare it
against
to
that.
Wind
I
Waker
love
because
the
they made it
cartoony
cartoony.
style.
You
Like,
would
I
have to
mean,
compare
Majora's
it to
Mask was
one
great.
of the most recent realistic ones, either the Warriors or yeah, Skyward Sword.
Like even Skyward Sword had great character. Like they weren't but they weren't like super realistic either.
Twilight-
Like I
yeah,
remember
that's
they
what I
were
was
trying to do that
gonna
more
say.
with Twilight Princess.
Yeah, I did not like the art style of Twilight Princess for some reason. This one, I really like the visual appeal to it. You should look up a couple screenshots when you have some time, because it's got the bright colors and the kind of the general feel of Wind Waker. You know, the bright color palette and kind of that a slight cel-shaded look, but the character models are much more complex and realistic looking. But it still looks really bright and really colorful. So it kind of marries those the two different styles together. And I think that'll actually serve the game's benefit, because when you try and make something look a little bit too photorealistic, it doesn't age really well, but when you go for a particular style, it tends to be more timeless. And I think that's what they're trying to do this time around, to make this game look a little bit more stylized without making it look completely cartoony.
It makes it so much more memorable. Like the realism is like, okay, great, that's every Modern Warfare game. Like, oh, looks
Yeah.
more realistic, but
We
it's
can
not
do
memorable.
without those, definitely.
Holy
It's like,
cow,
oh, we're gonna get
the
another one next year.
Screenshots, they're amazing.
See?
Yeah, it looks
See?
cool.
We'll
I've
have to
seen
put
it,
one of those
dude.
in
I
Link Dump.
know. I know.
But my only problem, I mean, not problem, but are they still
well,
just calling it The Legend of Zelda?
isn't
Yeah.
it supposed to
I don't
always
know.
be
I'm sure-
that? So
I'm
you
sure
know
they'll
what
tie
type
a
of game?
second
It's like
into
the
it.
Form Thread podcast, and then there's something else. The title,
Well-
after that usually, like what we're talking about.
The actual working
The
title...
new Forum Thread podcast.
No, the current working title of the game is The Legend of Zelda for the Wii U. That's its current
Like
working title.
they're gonna give a name.
Hopefully
Okay,
they
I
will
hope
give it a different name.
they did only do like Super Mario U.
Yeah, that's what they
So-
had Zombie U and they had New Super Mario Brothers Wii U. So they might just keep it that, like they did
So
with the
lame.
Nintendo 64, where they did like Star Fox 64. So it could be The Legend of Zelda Wii U.
You know, now that you really phrase it like that, like they really did always do that, didn't they? Super Mario 64, Star Fox 64.
Exactly. I hope they don't.
They never
do
did that with
again.
GameCube.
Yeah,
Super
they
Mario
couldn't, because
GameCube.
GameCube didn't roll off the tongue like 64 did.
Yeah.
Like Mario
Why does Wii U?
GameCube. You'd be like, wait a minute, what? Are you trying to sell me a porn? What?
They had Super Mario DS. Like, oh my god.
Yeah,
Why would
they're
you do
they're
that?
very
What the fuck,
unoriginal when it
Nintendo?
comes with their names. Well, they're about as unoriginal with the names as they are with the games. They keep on remaking the same game over and over again, so they keep calling it the same thing, just with something extra after it.
They're building a franchise.
Makes you wonder how long Nintendo can squeeze that.
Probably forever. They've been
Probably
doing it so
forever,
long.
dude. Probably forever.
Well, yeah,
I think
because they
so,
keep on
but-
remaking it, but it's a new
Yeah.
batch of people playing a lot of the
Yeah,
newer
new
ones.
Yeah,
generations
that's the whole
stuff.
point. It's just for like it's
It's-
to keep those games in the family, and like your kids are going to play it, and you're going to keep playing them as you see those games get better. Like those are the characters. If you're more of a casual gamer or something like that, you want that familiarity when you play a game, and it really it's a great launching into like a new system or just a new style of gaming or stuff like that. Just use familiar characters or a familiar story with new gameplay.
Yeah, this is true.
I mean, I appreciate Nintendo's model with it. I think it's fine. I think they can obviously branch out, but I don't hate them for continuously doing Super Mario.
Oh
or
no, I like to
Sonic
make fun of
or
them doing
Link,
it for
and-
doing it, but I
yeah.
definitely don't hate them for it. Actually, I love them
Yeah.
for it because I get to play all these old games that I used to love on the new system in
Oh,
pretty
dude.
HD.
I can't wait for the Majora's Mask remake on
Yes.
3DS.
I will
I'm really
actually
that's
beat
the
it
next
this
game
time.
like I'm super crazy
Yeah,
about.
it's such a really amazing game. I so much so that I wanted to just see it without any commentary. I just watched the entire part of it.
It's
A complete run. I mean,
it's totally my favorite Zelda.
like getting everything is so.
It goes that
so
and then
intricate
Wind
to get
Waker.
every single heart's piece.
and all the masks.
Yeah.
There's fucking masks.
Yeah, whoever designed that game, I swear, they're an evil son of a bitch. Or sons of bitches, since there's obviously a whole team. All
There's
of them, the
multiple
whole team.
ones. They're all bitches.
They're all fucking evil.
Their moms were all bitches and they're the sons.
But you know what? I think it's kind of interesting. You know how they're always saying that video games are trying to be more and more like movies. I've been noticing this trend where movies keep on rebooting themselves within an incredibly short amount of time. And like finally, movies have taken something from the video game world, where Nintendo's been rebooting the same game over and over and over again. From the very beginning. It's like now we've got how many Spider-Man reboots, how many Superman reboots, how many different versions of all the different superheroes. Like we're on iteration 2 or 3 with a lot of these like superhero movies now.
it's
Well,
not
with the
that
superhero movies, it seems like they finally are connecting them. They're like redoing them, but so that they can all go in this like Avengers and like this next level.
Well, yeah, because
universe.
they're also trying to make them more like a comic book. But I just thought it's kind of ironic now that like we have this reboot mindset already ingrained in us. So like just going from rebooting video games to rebooting movies, it's like, oh yeah, why not? We already reboot other things. Why not
It's
reboot
kind
the
of
movie?
fitting with
Reboot.
our current ADD society, though.
I know, isn't it wonderful?
Yeah.
I hope they start rebooting everything, because there's so many games I want to play again that just need to be like rebooted or remade. I'd take a remake over a reboot. That's fine. Just same game,
Yeah,
better
there's
graphics.
a lot of games that would benefit so much from better graphics. That's why I will probably play the Skywind once that is fully out and ready.
Hells yeah!
Give me a Burger Time.
Another
Shut up,
Elder
Sonny.
Scrolls fan.
Yep, Elder Scrolls. I say, give me another Burger Time. Give me another Kid Icarus, and I'm down.
They did. It's on the 3DS.
I didn't.
That
Play
doesn't
it. I don't have a
count.
3DS.
I don't think
That's your
I
new
don't
one.
know. Maybe it's because I don't know. I don't think that handheld games actually count as full games. I don't know why.
I agree.
Why?
In my mind, they just don't count as real games. If it's a handheld game, it's not a real game.
Well, then what do you feel about like PC games over console games?
PC and console, they're kind of neck and neck. They do the same thing. They're both real games.
Dude, no, I can't agree with you at all on that one. Anything they're all games. Like even mobile games, those are games. Browser games, those are games. They all kind of fit. Like, who cares about like story and stuff like that? As long as it's fun. It
I
totally
care
counts as a
about
game.
story. That's the whole reason why I can't get into half the games
What
that I
about
want to play.
What about Tetris? Tetris didn't have a story. I mean, originally it was supposed to be about the uprising of Russia taking over the world, but
Well, how much time did you put into Minecraft?
That's an
Oh.
unfair
There you go.
question.
yeah.
David,
Okay, so
throw it down.
there are
Whoa,
different, there are
David,
different
throwing
types of
down. I
games.
think it's over. He won.
Yeah,
He won.
everyone can go home now.
It's
David
over.
won.
Let's call it a night.
Okay. So Minecraft is a different style of game. So what I'm talking about are games with actual stories.
Yeah.
And you can't...
But what about Pokemon? That has a story.
Well,
don't-
he
that's
wasn't
Pokemon.
at the
I know you
time
don't
for
like
playing
it, but-
Pokemon.
I don't
Or
consider it
a
a real
Zelda
game.
handheld.
No.
No.
Can't get into it, no. Because, like, the handheld is, like, the cheap
what if
knockoff.
one of the games that you like are remade on a handheld?
Well, if they're
then
old,
they're
if they're
remake.
old, the older systems, that's when they can, if it's remaking it but it's improving upon it. Like if it was one from like the 64 and you put it on the 3DS, that's a good remake because it's actually updating everything. If they just do a sequel like how they did Okami's sequel just on the DS, that's not a true sequel because it downgraded in the graphics style.
Or like
it
with
continues the
Kingdom
story.
Hearts. I was a big fan of Kingdom Hearts. I played the first one, I played the second one, and then they had like all sorts of little handheld ones that came out on the different Sony console
just the
or
two.
handheld consoles. I'm like, I don't have one of those. I don't play games when I'm like out and about and doing stuff. One, if I'm going somewhere, I'm probably driving, so I can't play there. Two, if I'm out and about, I'm probably with someone, so I'm not going to be antisocial. I'm going to be talking with them. So I have
not the point
absolutely
of a
no
handheld,
need
though.
for a handheld console. So that's like a $200 to $300 investment I'm not going to make with all the games and everything. So there are all these different games that were super cheap to make because they were, for a tiny little screen. You don't have to worry so much about the voice acting, things like that, because again, tiny little screen, you don't have to worry about high quality audio or anything. So it's just like
What about back in the day with Super Nintendo games when we had tiny TVs and you played through a console and they had no voice acting or bad music?
that's all you
those
had.
games?
That's all you had. That's all we had at the time. Now we don't have those things. So if you go through something like Kingdom Hearts, which has terrific voice acting, a fantastic soundtrack, and then you're like, okay, we have 2 of these games. Now we have all these different iterations on the handheld.
Well, no, the only thing they did was they remade the 2 games into HD remakes on the handheld.
No,
Didn't
there's a lot of standalone
1.5 and
games
2.5.
No, because there's like 360 something / days, and there's Birth by
Yeah.
Sleep, and there's several different
I
actual
see.
Kingdom Hearts games on the handheld consoles that are standalone games, and it's like they were released after the PlayStation 2 was already done and over with, but they're like they have less quality than the PlayStation 2 would have required them. So they're like just cheap little knockoff games that still have important parts of the story.
It was like adding to the story overall, but it's like in cushioning the time in between 3, like still
I know,
giving you
and,
more of that
and,
universe.
and that's
of
something that I
waiting for
absolutely
3.
hate. It's like if you're going
Did
to
they
continue
release
this,
3 yet?
No. It has yet to
Nowhere
have an
close.
official release date. It's going to be
Nowhere
It's going to be on the
close.
PlayStation 3, or on the PlayStation
Wait, the
4.
3?
On the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
It's going to be on the
One.
Yeah, it's going to be on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and it is either going to be released probably late this year or next year. Square has yet to actually put a release date, but everyone's predicting it's going to be late
Yeah,
this
they
year
made the
or sometime
announcement
next year.
at E3 last year, and everyone was all excited because they were talking about the next gen consoles, and there's going to be a Kingdom Hearts 3, and nothing since then. So yeah.
But Mr. Fusion, you agreed with me earlier. Do you understand what it is I'm saying here about why I just don't consider the handheld versions actual like iterations of a game series when they just create a handheld game in a series?
No,
Why is it always necessarily bad if it's on a handheld?
I feel that
understand
way
that
too.
point.
I feel it's like a 0.1 type of thing. If you have, Legend of Zelda, it's a 0.5 or 0.1. It's not a complete.
Yeah, here I've got
series.
something. So I would consider that a console version of a game would be like an actual theatrical release of a movie, like say it's Aladdin, and then the handheld version is like the direct to DVD sequel, which is like Return of Jafar.
Great movie.
I did
sense.
enjoy it. It was really humorous to watch.
It's like so
I
you
liked
could,
it.
you can still technically have a good time with it, but like the production value's way down there.
Yeah.
The cast is way down there. It's like it just is not the same as the actual theatrical release. It's just the direct to DVD. Here we made another thing with the name on it, but it's not nearly as good. Go have fun.
Okay, let's go look at my house.
That's what it feels like.
Makes
Let me see
sense.
my house.
What are you talking about? Look at your house.
Ooh, dude, we should start a Reddit, a TFT Reddit. That's what they're asking for in the Minecraft.
No, I think they were. They
Video
think
chat right now.
they. I was referring to the Game Grumps subreddit.
Oh, the forum thread? Which one? No, the forum thread. You idiots.
They don't understand that's an actual title.
Yeah,
I mean, I think we were very clever in the naming of this brand.
but it
Like,
confuses the
forum
hell out
thread,
of people.
If you look it up online, you're just like, I'm going to just look up the forum thread. You're just like, oh, whoa. I think just look up any generic forum thread. And like, oh, that's us. As long as we get more views and shit like that. We can take over that term on Google.
Actually, if you type in the forum thread podcast, we're
Well,
all of our
but
stuff
we're
pops
not
up.
number one with TFT podcast.
No, there
There's
is
a lot of
another
jerk.
TFT podcast, unfortunately.
The imposters.
We have to find them and beat them. I don't care with what or how. We just need to beat them.
Isn't it like a commentary on business and
Yeah.
Is that podcast RDS version?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
That's
never
the
have
subreddit.
liked the games that have been put on the smaller ones. Like I just said, like the Okamidon and other stuff like that. If they're part of a series that has already existed on the larger consoles, it just doesn't make as much sense. Or if they have a console version, then it's even stranger when like the DS version is all weird, compressed, not as good graphics, or just not the same game altogether.
Okay, so what do you think of then if a game comes out on the 360 or PS3 and then they release something on the Wii and it was pared down because the Wii's not as powerful as those other games? Now, is that version, the Wii U version, not considered a
The
game anymore?
It depends on the
Wii,
content.
yeah, the Wii U version is usually just
I mean,
a
just
little
the
bit
regular
less
Wii.
on the graphics, but it's still the same game essentially. When you have the DS,
But
it's-
back with the Wii, that was SD as compared to the HD that 360 and PS3 provide.
Well,
This is why I didn't own an original Wii, because it was like standard definition, and it was terrible and gross to look at, and I refused to have any part of that.
especially if you wanted to watch Netflix, you're like, yeah.
Fuck that. No.
Yeah, God, that was a terrible system.
Yeah,
But
it was
sold
only
a shitload of units.
Yeah, it did. They did it right.
it was the marketing. It was the marketing. Like, they got old people to buy it, and now it's
Yeah.
biting
Yeah.
them in the ass. And I knew this was going to happen. I'm like, okay, the Wii is selling like hotcakes, and they're gonna come
I
up with
think
the next
everyone
system.
in our generation knew that.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, and it failed. Well, you know why it failed, Nintendo? It's because you put out the fucking Wii the last time around, and everyone's grandparents bought it. So,
To be
but I
fair,
think
they made a lot of money off of the Wii Sports, though.
they did.
They sure
yeah.
did.
So as long as they can, eat up the loss that is the Wii U, I think they'll be okay. I mean,
Well, they do that with the 3DS.
like
Yeah.
the Wii printed money,
That
and
sells
then
like
the 3DS printed money. So between the two, it's like even though they this one's not doing well, it'll be fine as long as they just are smart about it.
I think the Wii U's doing all right now.
Yeah,
Right?
with
It turned
the
around.
Wii U's
they had a huge
the
comeback with all
games
the
that
games
it's
that they
been
just
provided,
released.
like a lot of people are going to be getting the Wii U
Yeah.
Smash
to
Brothers helped.
be able to play these new ones, especially the newest one like Smash Bros.
Mario
Yeah, once
Kart
Smash
8.
Brothers
And
came
Mario
out, they
Kart
did
8, yeah.
they did start to do a lot better. But a lot of people, so you had a bunch of people that bought it when Mario Kart 8 came out, and they're like, okay,
Yes.
that's good. But then when Mario Kart 8 was out, and then Smash Brothers came out, like myself, that's when a lot of other people decided to buy it because they're like, oh, now there's actually 2 games on the system that I want to play. I can go ahead and buy it now.
I think, at E3, Nintendo did fucking fantastic. Like, all the games that they bought, they made, like, the new Yoshi game, the Toad game, the Ink
The
Battle
new
game, I
Yoshi
forget
game
what
is
it's
just
called.
kind
but
of a retread of the old Yoshi game.
I think it looks cool. I'm excited to play it. I'm gonna get it.
But
But-
see,
Yeah,
you're
I'm still
noticing-
going to get it. I'm still
you're
going to get it, but the
noticing-
reviews for it are pretty shitty.
But you're noticing it's the same IP, though. It's not
Oh,
like...
of course.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
they're
all
not
the
reaching-
official Nintendo stuff. They'd have no third-party support whatsoever.
Which I think we've had this discussion. That's what saved the video game industry in the 80s, and it's actually coming to bite them in the butt now because eventually they're going to have to reach out to third parties and bring on new IP.
Well, yeah, bring on
They're
new
gonna-
ones,
they're
but
gonna
there
do
is
it.
still
They
a bunch of people
realize
that like
it.
seeing the older characters as well.
Yeah, I know, but I get that, but you can only get so creative with with those IPs. You can only have so many games come out, and eventually you're going to have to be fresh.
Well, they're trying to do something new with Zelda, so.
That's true. I know. Is it a true sandbox game? Is that what it's going to be?
That's what they're advertising.
I don't know if it's
it wouldn't be a
true
sandbox game, but an
or
open
not,
world
that's
one.
the impressions.
Just
The
open
sandbox
world.
is what I'm playing.
I don't know. I mean, I grew kind of grew out of Nintendo. Probably, I'm gonna say late '90s. I was just like, okay, I'm getting the same games. I think it was at that point where they were reissuing Mario Brothers in different versions constantly. Mario Brothers All Stars, Mario Brothers remake. I'm like, okay, I've had enough. So.
Yeah, I did fall out of love with Nintendo. It was a little bit later than you. It was during the GameCube phase. Mm-hmm. I liked a couple of the games on the GameCube, mostly just Smash Brothers, but everything else was just kind of like underwhelming.
They were a bit more daring.
That's why I started with most of my gaming. So I have nothing but fond memories with the GameCube because all the games I played on there were Spiderweb from Smash Bros. Like, oh, there's a Metroid. I'm gonna go see what that is. Oh, there's Solid Snake. I'm gonna go see what that is. Like I Spiderweb from the GameCube and Smash Bros. To play all the other games that came on it.
I mean, they had versions of Silent Hill. They had, X-Men Legends. Ravensoft games. I mean, they were more. They took more chances on the GameCube, and I guess they just didn't like the results from that. I don't know.
But with the GameCube, it still, to me, it felt like they were trying to. That was the first time they started to try and be a little too cutesy and a little too kiddie.
Yeah.
And they didn't really have a lot of the darker games. They had one or two. The Resident Evil, was it Resident Evil 4 that was GameCube exclusive?
Yeah.
But like for the most part, they were missing a lot of what I would consider the mature content. And then they kind of drove that home with the Wii, where it was like, oh yeah, we're just all kid friendly and old people friendly here, except for that one black and white game that had lots of blood. But like other than that, it was mostly just completely PG. And I do feel it's
a
biting
nice
them in the
amount
ass
of
now.
M games. I have like 3 of them on my shelf. Like compared
really?
to the age I was playing that was a lot for the amount. Like I was usually playing, like I started at Nintendo, so I was only getting Nintendo specific ones. But the ones on the GameCube that were spread out were a lot more. But basically, it wasn't only kitty games.
They had more mature games on the rated M games. I'm not gonna call them actual mature games. They had more rated M games on the GameCube than they did on the Wii. And like now they have like Bayonetta is an exclusive on the Wii U. It's like they're trying desperately to break out and break away from that kid-friendly, grandparent-friendly image, but they completely failed by calling this system the Wii U because it has the name Wii in the title, instead of calling it something else.
I think they were still they were hoping to bring over some of the sales from the Wii.
Yeah, that's something where they completely did not get the type of market that they were advertising to, because the casual gamers are like, I already have a Wii, what do I need a Wii U for? And the old people are like, I already have a Wii, what do I need a Wii U for?
Exactly. You have to differentiate the product, that way they don't think that they're buying enough.
Yeah, it did very much seem like the way they titled it. There was a whole game theory about why this one failed. Is because they repeated almost exactly the same mistake as one of their older systems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and every so often Nintendo does do a really big stupid. They've done it before in the past, and they've always been able.
They made it dumb.
Yeah, they made it
dumb.
dumb. And it's happened. It happens every so often, and usually it's not as big as like the Wii/Wii U debacle that's happened here. But I'm pretty confident that if they can pull through this and they can release the next console after this, that they'll actually be back
It's
at
gonna be the
full
Wii
force
Z.
again.
Make it edgy.
Unless they do that. If they call it
Wii
the
W.
Wii anything and don't give it a proper...
Wheeze.
Yeah, if they don't give it a proper name.
No, it's going to be called the Wii Us. Come on.
The Wii.
Wii, the Wii U, then the Wii Us.
The Wii.
If you turn out to be right,
Wheeze.
oh my gosh.
I am.
Then there's no
I
hope
am.
for humanity. Like, Nintendo will have finally fallen.
If I'm right, or if Nintendo does that.
Nintendo's come way too far to just, like, belly up like that. So, you know, they got their start by selling cards, you know? It's like, they've been around for over 100 years. They can't just, like, make one continuous bad business decision and drive themselves in the ground.
Yeah, I
Like,
don't think
they're
I
not allowed
think
to
they
do it.
are
They
going to
can't do
learn, at
that.
least learn, quote unquote, from this one, just with the next system. I think they're going to be a little bit more careful. I think the last one was more just to keep up with the next wave of, the next wave of system upgrades, I guess. The next generation.
Yeah, they got a little bit cocky with the Wii, and they're like, "Hey, everyone wants one. It just absolutely prints money. It's a little money printer." And they're like, we've got them eating out of the palm of our hands. Let's give them our next system now, ahead of all the other next gen systems, and they'll love it." And then they wondered why everyone was like, "Nintendo, what are you doing? No, Nintendo, go home. You're drunk, Nintendo. Stop it. No."
Yeah, but it's hard to upgrade the Wii to the Wii. Like it still is a good upgrade. They just didn't do it right. Like if they had released their next system as a true full new system, and then it had been the graphical superior or a graphical equal, or at least a little bit less to the other two, then it would have been a lot different.
Are you drunk right now? Because that sounds like something I would have
He's
stumbled
having
through.
a stroke.
Sort of. But you at least get the point.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Though I do like that the...
Right, check his pulse.
Nah.
She's in the other room. She's not going to check his pulse. She's too
Checking
busy.
his
Yeah.
temperature, all right.
Insurance money, come on.
Hey now.
Ooh, how much
Dude.
is he worth?
Haven't actually done that yet.
Oh.
Wait, don't die yet.
No, I don't.
Hold on.
Wait
Check
till
his
the podcast
temperature?
is over.
Wait, what?
I have no idea what's going on.
I thought we were making innuendos.
Yeah, all I got from that
Is
is
he
that
actually sick?
she's
Yeah.
going to
Oh my god, you need to go to the hospital?
No, use the rectal thermometer.
Oh gosh. No.
Okay. He's like, no.
Yeah, I was waiting for a reaction. Took him a minute.
I think she went to go grab it. The butt
No,
or
let's
the
just leave it
thermometer?
at
I don't
it.
know which one.
Check this out. I haven't played my Xbox One in about a week. I log in today, and Xbox Live is down.
Oh, how wonderful.
Way to be.
Mm-hmm. It's good stuff. Glad to know we pay, $100 a year and $60 a game to get this.
$100 a year. Did the price go up?
I thought it was $99. Did I pay
It turns
$99?
out you've been paying way more than you needed
paid
to, and it's only been like $20.
You're paying for like a family plan with just like 4 people.
Yeah, I thought I was just paying like $60 or $70 a year.
Well, no. Well, isn't the Xbox One just paying to put that Xbox One live? It's not paying individually per subscription.
Yes, that's correct. But see, I had my Live rolled over from. I purchased mine late last year, so like kind of mid, like right before the one came out, a month or two before.
So
I had renewed my Xbox Live.
It sounds overly convoluted.
Yeah. So when I just log in now, it rolls it over.
but regardless, it is down.
It's kind of frustrating when you don't log in for a week and the first thing you do is like, I'm going to cook dinner, so I'll watch Hulu while I'm cooking, and then I'll play some Shadows of Mordor, and then boom, everything's down. Really nice.
Like, sorry, we can't do it with this technology. Just can't.
Yeah.
Wait, can you not? I thought you could still play games.
He was
I
trying to
could play
watch
games,
Netflix.
but I was
though.
trying to
Okay.
cooking, do my adult shit before I sat down and played games, and all of a sudden it popped up that I need to connect to my network, and I'm like, no, my internet's working fine because my phone's on it and my tablet's on it, and so we're having trouble. Thanks, Xbox, appreciate that.
It's Microsoft is too distracted by all their Windows 10.
No, they
promos
updated
to worry about what's
Microsoft's
going on with
computers to
Xbox
Windows
Live
10,
right now.
and then it just ended up crashing Xbox.
Well, have you seen that they're pushing this holographic
dear.
interface?
I
with
have not seen
Windows 10
the
now?
actual one, but I've heard
you
about
seen
it
this?
a bunch.
It's like,
you seen this?
Is
Have you
this
heard
a
about this?
holographic keyboard or?
yeah,
how
it's
is
like
it?
you have to. No, you have to put glasses on. So it's kind of like the idea of Google Glass.
It's called
but
HoloLens.
yeah, but you know,
HoloLens.
instead of having it covering one eye, it's an actual pair of like shades that are really big and clunky. You have to put on your whole face, and it'll let you like interact with a bunch of like actual holographic interface. So you can do the whole like point at the air in front of you, and stuff will happen. It looks like it's a huge gimmick, kind of like the Kinect was.
I can't imagine
but
that
they're
it's going to be
really
that,
laying it on thick,
that
like
feature.
it's gonna be the
like
next
I have in
big
my head this
innovation.
idea of what that would be, and it's like how they represent it in movies like Avatar, like just the computer and be able to just take a bunch of text, move it over. I don't think it'll function anywhere close to that right now. That's the sort of thing that you release like kind of the Oculus Rift, like
Not at all.
technology that you don't force on the next upgraded system, but still try it out. That sounds like a good idea, but it doesn't need to be the calling card of 10.
Yeah. Oh, and I watched the one of their announcements about the whole thing, and I thought it was really funny because they took full credit of everything. It's like, this is an idea that we had, and it's amazing, and you all should be amazed. And I'm like, wait a minute. So you're calling it holographic, but it's not really holographic because you have to put this thing on. It's actually augmented reality, and that's something that Google Glass has been doing for not so much for the public, but has actually been doing in its the smaller releases for like the last 1.5-2 years. So this isn't actually your idea, Microsoft. You're just taking like Google's idea and putting a whole wraparound lens on your face and calling it a hologram instead of augmented reality and saying, "Yes, this is our cool original idea. Aren't we awesome?" Like Microsoft, you can go fuck yourself.
That's what any kind of company can do. It's like they take technology that's already out there and they put their own little spin on it. It's like, this is new, this is different. Like, like it's just like we have a new, like it's like when people introduce new drugs. It's like, this is like revolutionary. I'm like, no, you took a molecule and moved it over here and then gave it a fancy name, and now you're advertising the same thing that the generic does. It's like that bullshit.
Yeah, I guess maybe to me it's like the most irritating thing to me about the whole thing is the fact that they're calling it a hologram. When it's not a hologram, if you require glasses to see it, it's not a hologram. It's not.
It's not the Star Wars style hologram yet, but with the name hologram, I got the misconception that it was going to be something that you would kind of project, like if it projects the keyboard in a way, and then you could just type on the desk, but it still looks like you're typing on a keyboard.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Yeah. If you look up a generic definition,
trademarking the name.
Yeah, if you look up a generic definition of hologram on the internet, you'll find something that's kind of like what we all picture in our mind when we say hologram, something that does not require like glasses.
Is there an official dictionary
I don't know.
for hologram?
I don't know. I'm just saying if you just Google it though, you can get a general idea of what the population expects.
Well, I know what the population expects.
And then
I'm just saying what we expect.
Yeah, if
like,
you Google
what they're doing,
but this is
like
what I'm
it's
saying.
just like.
Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. If you Google augmented reality, that term, and you read the definition, it's exactly what they're doing with these glasses. It's exactly what Microsoft is doing with these glasses. They are just augmenting reality. They're not actually producing holograms. So that's the thing that irritates me so much about this. One, they're taking credit for it, which I can understand. But two, they're calling it something that it's not. It's nothing more than just augmenting
the literal definition of hologram.
My point is there is no definition.
The literal
of that
definition
yet.
of hologram is just a three-dimensional image formed by light. So light from the glasses or light from in front of
That's
you.
exactly what it's doing.
It's still technically a hologram.
But the light isn't being projected.
Yeah, it's not being projected. It's
a hologram.
It's being projected towards your
eyeballs.
eyeballs.
I'm just saying the definition doesn't mention projection.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it may not be the technical definition, but it's what we all know holograms to be.
But they're taking the term.
It's
and
like
I'm just saying, like that's fair use for that term, and we can't
I don't like it.
It is giving
That's all
a
I'm
misconception.
saying.
I'm just
I don't like
explaining
it.
That would
logic.
be excited about them getting holograms would have this idea of what holograms are, and anyone that wouldn't care wouldn't get it anyway.
They're taking it back.
Take it back, Tgjan Lee.
They're taking it back.
You see, because what's going to happen, Dark's right, what's going to happen is there's going to be a misrepresentation, and then other products are going to come out, and then it's the term hologram is going to be completely different from what it originally meant to be.
Hmm?
Yeah, thank you, Microsoft, for this future debacle that's about to happen.
Those of us that grew up in the 80s and early 90s knew what hologram was when you were a sci-fi geek, because you knew it was hard light construction, not technically hard light, but light construction, in front of you, or just projections. And then this isn't. It's just like a fucking film. It's like a sheet, a layer that, like he said, augments reality. It's basically what it is. It's like someone takes a studio gel and puts it over a backdrop. That's all it is. It's a studio gel. That's what it is.
And it'll be even better if it actually goes horrible. If it works all right, then that'll be one thing. But if it does as good as the original Kinect one,
you saw the success of augmented reality? I mean, every fucking marketing scheme had a QR tag and just like you can view it on your phone, blah blah blah. I mean, like it's gonna be used for that same scheme, and it's going to work for a while. It's going to be a gimmick. And then people are going to forget about it, and then something else will come out.
Well, you can take your phone anywhere, but what they're talking about is a headset that's actually tied to your computer that you have to keep charged.
Well, you can't.
As long as they don't require this headset for Windows 10, it won't affect it. If they try to do with the Xbox One.
Well, here's
it's
the
still
question.
Different. You're getting immersed instead of looking at it through your iPhone or something.
With these HoloLenses, so I could technically be mowing my lawn, checking my email, and surfing the net for porn all at the same time, right?
Yeah, but I would say I wouldn't want to mow my yard while watching porn because I need a free hand,
That's what a self-projecting
you
mower is for.
You gotta rev up a little bit. Just like, all right, I'll watch a little porn first. I don't need to have my hand and my dick together at the same time. So you get a little revved up. You go through your gallery of all your porn. Then when you come in, you're like, oh my god, I've got this huge Woody. And then now you go and do the whole payload. But you got chores done at the same time.
Yeah, you got work done while you were shopping for porn.
Yeah,
hey,
it's like it's
totally
useful time. You didn't just sit there at your computer and waste your time. You did something productive.
I'm really confused with what Tgjan is trying to.
Come on, Chaos.
I'm just trying to explain how to effectively do menial tasks and watch porn at the
how
same
did
time.
what he said not make any sense?
No, it does make sense. It's just very strange.
It's not strange.
It's brilliant, honestly.
I will admit, now that you've explained it, I can see the error in my reasoning. And I do like this idea a lot.
You will invest in my Google Glass.
But with this, we'll get one step closer to the hard light hologram, similar to what takes place in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You know how he has his constructs and his architectural diagrams and all that.
Tony Stark, where he's just playing with all the screens in midair, you're and then he just makes a suit out of just computer.
I would love to see that type of stuff happen.
That would be cool because you can get a much better.
I just want a fucking hoverboard.
From an engineering standpoint, you can actually see things being built. Yeah, it makes sense.
I just want a fucking hoverboard. That's all I want.
Hoverboards.
I just want a skateboard that doesn't have wheels. That's it.
Do you know how to skateboard?
Somewhat.
Somewhat?
Yeah.
So what would you do with a hoverboard?
I would do the exact same things that I could do on a regular skateboard, but I wouldn't need wheels to do them.
And if it was a well-built hoverboard, it would be safer and have box detection, so you couldn't go flying into the side of a wall or anything like that as easily.
I won't be able to go over water though. That'll be a huge problem.
Yeah.
As long as hoverboards are designed good, then that would be a lot better than trying to ride a skateboard because they could automatically balance themselves. They could automatically project themselves.
And I won't trip over every rock.
Then anyone could ride a hoverboard, and it wouldn't require any skill.
Yeah, why would you need skill, dude? I just want to fucking. I don't care if everybody else has a hoverboard
I don't think it would be perfect. If you keep going at 90 miles an hour, it would be harder for the machine to be okay, there's a wall in our way. Let's suddenly stop.
So now, what you're talking about there is more like a self-driving car.
No, it would be still steered by the person. It would just prevent you. It'd be like how video games don't let you go into a wall or past a certain area.
Oh, you're talking about having invisible walls.
I'm saying it would.
You want to incorporate invisible walls into real life?
No.
Is that what I'm hearing you say?
If you were say
trying
going
to build up
in an
invisible
alleyway,
boundaries?
you wouldn't be bunking on the left and right of the walls. You'd be staying in the center.
I like how it has to be bonk though. Like it makes a bonk sound. Bonk, 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 bonk.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we have gone over the hour mark now.
Alrighty.
I think we can go ahead and wrap this up.
Do we? Yeah. We do.
Yeah. So put that dick in a condom, wrap it up, and Tgjan Lee, take it away.
All right. Thanks everybody for watching tonight. This has been another episode of TFT Podcast. What number was this?
Like 92, 93?
90,000?
94.
9,000? Okay. 94. You can find us on Twitter at the forum thread. You can find our TFT Plays on the forum thread on Twitter at TFT Plays. That's where we do all their gameplay videos, and you can find awesome shows like TFT Smash, which you should go watch because the championship just came out today. Nice plug, Tom. You can find us on roosterteeth.com. You can join our thread, the forum thread, and that's always fun because when new strangers come in and they don't know how to actually talk in the thread, we get to berate you. It's really fun.
Yes.
You can find us on SoundCloud. You can listen to our video or our podcast library. You can find all of our podcasts on YouTube, and I think that's everything, right? Whatever. Oh, Facebook. We're on Facebook. I think people still use that.
Yes. Give us a thumbs up on Facebook. Damn it.
Like us more.
Please.
This is the professionalism that you usually get when I
Always.
host.
To be
the guy.
fair, a lot of the
Always.
popular YouTubers say that every video is not out of the norm.
Well, now I'm just ripping people off.
Yeah,
God damn it.
that does not help at all, Chaos. You're not helping here. You go sit in a corner. Go.
Get out of here. Just get out of here, Chaos. God damn it.
Don't worry, Tgjan. You were completely original. You did a good job.
Thank you.
You're a special snowflake. It's alright.
I am a snowflake.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Goodbye.
Good night.